Morning, everybody. On behalf of Lieutenant General Steve Gilland, our superintendent, Tom Theodorakis, our athletics director, our players, coaches, and staff, proud to be here and to represent West Point. We're obviously excited again about this season and the opportunity to play in the American. This is a great league, and the attention that the autonomy schools get, the power conferences, as they're referred to, that is it's hard to argue that there is a higher level of college football and where they're at in terms of the athletes they have and the resources that they have. But beyond that, there's no better league than the American. This is the power conference of those that play in what was called the Group of Five and now the Group of Six. And Tim Pernetti's done an unbelievable job raising and heightening the awareness and the excitement about this conference, making this league a competitive league, attracting teams and universities that are like-minded and in their pursuit of high-level athletics and academics. And so we're really proud to be a part of this league, and it's a great fit for us. For so many years, Army was an independent. Gave it a crack in the late 90s and early 2000s in Conference USA, and it probably wasn't a good fit at the time for our institution, for our program, and I wasn't there at the time to speak with any sort of authority on that, but it just wasn't a prosperous venture for our program. But this was the right time, and as Tim had mentioned up here, to be in a conversation at the end of the season last year about the playoffs and to have had a team that was successful enough to be in those conversations was pretty exciting and fantastic for our program and for West Point. Ultimately, obviously, we weren't the team that was selected, but to be in those conversations and to be able to entertain the conversations that wouldn't have happened had we not join the conference and become part of the American. So we are very honored and thrilled to be a part of this league and looking forward to this season. This is a great league, very talented. The players, the coaches, Coach Lamb, who's standing up here, just a tremendously talented coach, as there are throughout the league, and we found that out as we played the schedule a year ago, that we had to come to the game ready and prepared to play our very best. And fortunately, we had a veteran team. We had a quarterback that got a lot of attention, was a really good player, but we had a terrific offensive line and a supporting cast around him. We had a tough, rugged defense, and our guys just played really well together last year, and we were able to beat all the teams in the league that we faced, and then win the conference championship, which is a great source of pride for our team and for our program. But that's last year, and nobody that's here that's coaching any of these teams is going to give us a head start or any points on the scoreboard when we kick it off because we won the league last year. We're going to have to earn it, and we have to do that with a team that we're not void of talent, but if you go and interview all the coaches in here, they'll tell you we weren't in any recruiting battles with even the teams in our league for the players that we have. There's a level of talent in this league that we have great respect for, and in order for us to overcome maybe a gap in talent, we've got to execute at a really high level, and that's what I give our guys a lot of credit for. That they do. They work really hard on fundamentals. They work really hard to get themselves in great condition and strong and prepared physically. And then our coaches and the job that our players do to learn and to study and to minimize mistakes levels that playing field and closes that gap a little bit. So it's a tremendous challenge for us. It will be week in and week out. this season like it was a year ago. But we're looking forward to it, and we do place some teams this year on the schedule from within the league that are different, and that's really, I think, pretty neat about being in a league as well. You start to build some in-conference rivalries, teams that you play more often, but you also get to play different teams each year, and we're looking forward to that, traveling to new cities and hosting new teams at West Point. So we've got two young men here with us today, Caleb Fortner and Anna Thomas. Those are our two team captains. They're also our two starting inside linebackers and lettuce and tackles. They were two leading tacklers last year. They're tremendous young men, have meant a lot to our success and to our program, and they're doing a great job leading our team. And so I encourage you to talk to them if you have an opportunity today to do so. They are a great representation of our academy and the young men and women that make up the Corps of Cadets at the United States Military Academy. And to be a player that plays football at this level, at the very highest level of college football, and the demands that takes, the time that's extracted from their day every day to prepare to be their very best and be who they need to be for our team, to take a schedule of classes that is a full schedule. These guys during the fall semester will probably be taking anywhere between 18 and 22 hours, and it's rocket science. I mean, they're taking really tough classes, and that's a challenge. The military obligations that they have to do all that, and they're a representation of everybody at our academy and everybody on our football team. And it's not easy. It's not easy to be a football player at West Point, but they handle it so well, and that makes me particularly proud, knowing that we've got guys on our team that have those challenges every day, and yet are able to go out on Saturday afternoons and compete at a really high level. So we're excited to be here. We're excited about the season. I've got no predictions. We're just going to do the best we can to put the best team out there that we possibly can, to try to play hard, to represent the men and women that serve in the United States Army as well as we can, with a team that's tough and determined and professional, just like our American soldiers. And hopefully that'll be good enough for us to win some football games and perhaps put ourselves in a position to play for a championship again next year.
We'll take questions for Coach. Please raise your hand, and we'll get a microphone to you. Over there, second row on the right.
Coach, Sam Perry from the Mine Shaft. What's going to be the main factor in trying to repeat the success from last season?
You from the mine shaft. You got a tough work job yourself. You go down to the mines every day. To repeat, I don't know. I guess I don't think about how do we repeat. I really want to focus our team on how do we prepare ourselves to be the very best that we can be 36 days from now when we kick off against Tarleton State. That's our biggest concern right now, is how do we maximize who we can be for that game, and how that will prepare us for the next one and the next one and the next one, and not look at the entire season and how do we get ourselves to win 12 games and play for a championship. It is truly, that's not coach speak. That's what we have to do. We are not talented enough to just say, okay, what schemes can we draw up here for this very talented football team that we're just going to roll the balls out and have a chance to win these games. I want our guys to individually maximize who they can be. I want them to do it in a way that's selfless, that it's not about their ego or about their own accomplishments, but it's about what they can do to contribute to our team. And we build our entire program on that. And it's built on team, and it's built on togetherness and being accountable to our teammates and holding others accountable. So that, in my opinion, if we'll do our job and follow the plan that we've put in place for our players to succeed, that we'll be in the conversation again at the end of the year. And if we don't, If we don't do our job and we don't follow the plan, then we're going to find ourselves disappointed on those Saturdays.
Additional questions for Coach? Stay on the right, the third row.
Hi, Coach. How you doing?
Great. You?
I'm doing great, thank you. I
glad
appreciate
to
you
hear it.
asking. My name's Thomas Christopher from the League Winners. You know, Army's triple option offense last year was truly dominant. How do you balance maintaining that unique identity while adapting to modern defensive schemes?
Well, we've had to adapt a good bit. You know, I guess it was after the 21 season going into the 2022 season, there was a big rule change in the NCAA for blocking below the waist. They essentially eliminated it. You can still do it in the tackle box. The 5 interior linemen, the backs that are part of the tackle box, as long as it's at the line of scrimmage or within the tackle box to 1 yard beyond the line of scrimmage, a very small area where that can be done. And there are still other teams that utilize that block with their linemen, with their backs, and it is an effective tool for stopping defenders from their initial charge and pass rushes and those kinds of things. But we, as an option team, used the cut block, the block below the waist, all over the field. And we would, on the perimeter, second level defenders with our linemen, and it was really a way for us as an option team, when there's a full flow option play coming your direction and you're a defender, it's not difficult to figure it out. The running back is diving through the line that direction. All the linemen's hats are moving that direction. The quarterback opens that direction. There's a slot back coming in motion toward you. It's not hard to figure out the ball's coming your way. And those linebackers, as they would flow, and the secondary players as they would support, you know, as I said, we're not in the recruiting pools of 3 and 4 and 5 star prospects. We're not a big football team, and so we would use the cut block to get defenders off of their feet, and it allowed us to get plays started. It allowed us to get plays going on the perimeter, and all that changed after the 21 season. So going into the 2022 season, it was really an evaluation process of how are we going to be able to execute what we do, what we had done for so many years without the cut block. And we found that it really did fundamentally change how we could operate. And what happened from being a team that could spread the field and get wide receivers out, we had to get receivers in closer to the formation so they could block linebackers and defensive ends, and we're pulling tackles out there to block safeties, and it just wasn't, I didn't think, in my opinion, going to be sustainable. And so in 23, we changed altogether. I hired a new offensive coordinator with the idea that we would bring the more traditional scheme, zone, power, counter, into our offensive schemes and still be an option team. And in 2023, we didn't do a very good job of using the option elements enough to be different. We really became much like everybody else. And for a team that's not as talented, for a team that's not as big or as fast, you know, when you level the playing field from a schematic standpoint, or I guess operate more like everybody else, it's much easier for a defense to operate like they do against everybody else. And I think one of the advantages over the years has been that when we play another team, their defense often changes. In fact, historically, we've played teams where they might be a 4-man front, and we come out in the first series of the game, and they're in an odd front. Or they're an odd front team, and they decided that wasn't what they wanted to do to defend the option. They're an even front team. They've got guys playing positions that they haven't played all year. It was essentially, for many of their football players on defense, like playing a different sport, and they had to learn it in a week. And so that for many years has been an equalizer for us. And we found in 2023 what we were doing really wasn't what we needed to be doing. So I made a change again. Cody Worley had been our quarterback's coach. I made him the offensive coordinator. And what he did so well is he meshed the two worlds, the zone power counter world with our option elements. And we're still an option football team. And when teams defend us, they have to defend the option because we got a lot of option elements to our offense. But we have incorporated a lot of the traditional run schemes that everybody else is doing, but we've got option elements off of it. And so hopefully that continues to be an equalizer for us and allows us to be different enough from everybody else that is one way to level the playing field. And I think Cody did a great job with that last year. We obviously had a quarterback that we counted a lot on. He got the snap, and he didn't give it to anybody else. He ran the ball, and he was really good at it. He had a really good offensive line in front of him. And we may need to be very different this year. Depending on who our quarterback is, we may not be able to rely on the quarterback run game as much as we did and have to rely on more of our option schemes. And we'll find out as we go through preseason camp and into the season. But I think, a long-winded answer to your question is, we have to remain an option team, but we have to utilize some of the more traditional run schemes because we can't go out there and full flow option all day long and knock defenders to the ground off their feet. We're not talented enough. We're not physically superior enough to just go out there and maul a 210-pound safety with a 160-pound slot back all day long. So we figure out ways to make it work.
Coach, our final question will be here on the left, the third row.
Coach, Matthew Bartlett with the Roost. You talked about uniquenesses of the option. What was your reaction when another option team is going to be in the conference with Rice going that direction?
Well, Scott's done a great job. And in fact, Scott and I talked a couple years ago just about the transition from what we had been doing traditionally to a more gun-based option offense, which he's done a remarkable job with, just tremendous job here at Davidson. And so, though what he does is different from us, it's different from Navy. We're all a little bit unique. The principles of defending the option are there. And I think to your question and to yours, that it's now going to create in the league the need for defensive coordinators and defensive staffs to come up with an option plan, though it may be unique to each school. And that's a little bit different. To be the one-off, the only team that runs the option, I think is certainly a big advantage. To have two other teams in the league doing it, it maybe takes a little bit of the sting away from the presentation, but hopefully we'll be able to create some ways that we're different enough that and we've got some uniqueness that give us opportunities to make plays that we wouldn't just based on who we are physically.
That's all the time for Coach. Thank you.
Thanks a
We'll
lot,
move on
everybody.
to Florida Atlantic next.